I truly believe that sometimes we underestimate the true greatness of Tom Landry.
It's Tom Landry in silhouette with his hat, and you know it's Tom Landry.
We talk about perfection, it's execution that you're after, and the team that can do that will normally win the football game.
In this video, I am excited to delve into Landry's records that I believe will never be broken. In most cases, I'm the kind of person who believes in never saying never, but I have to make an exception for this video. That's how unbelievable these stats are. With that being said, let's do this. Let's kick things off with a record that is absolutely mind-boggling. From 1964 to 1988, Tom Landry's defenses were in the top 10 in sacks for an incredible 24 years. They only missed out on the top 10 once, back in 1972, when Dallas ranked 11th in the league. Take a moment to ponder this. From 1964 until retirement, his defenses never ranked outside of the top 11 in sacks. That's an absolutely remarkable accomplishment.
Never that high last year. No. Here's Dickey back to throw on first down under pressure under Randy White. Down goes a penalty marker. White gets the sack. Dickey goes to the turf. And there's going to be a holding call, I'm sure, against the Packers.
Now, for our next stat, I almost included it in the previous record, but it is so amazing that it deserves its own spotlight. In those 24 seasons, Tom Landry's defense ranked in the top 6 in sacks for a whopping 17 seasons. This means that his defense wasn't just barely making the top 10. They were among the absolute best of the best. Let's also not forget that his defense soared to the top 5 in sacks for 14 out of those 17 seasons. These are all records, by the way, that I believe will never be broken. Tom Landry, renowned for his defensive coaching, also had highly effective offenses. One unbelievable stat that oftentimes get unnoticed is how Tom Landry and the Dallas Cowboys ranked within the top 10 in rushing yards for 16 out of 17 seasons from 1966 to 1982. I have to admit, this caught me by surprise. It really did. Being in the top 10 16 out of those 17 years is unlikely to ever be surpassed, especially in this happy passing league. Not only did they manage to stay in the top 10 for 16 years, but they were actually in the top 5 for 13 of those 16 years. That's an impressive 76% of the time. I mean, one coach having 13 seasons with a top 5 rushing attack is absolutely remarkable. It's safe to say that this record will never be surpassed. Rarely, if ever, do you see a coach who was not only the best defensive coach in the league, but also the best offensive coach in the league. Landry and the Cowboys offense absolutely excelled, ranking among the top 5 in total yards for an incredible 12 out of 13 seasons. Impressively, they even secured a spot in the top 3 for at least 8 out of those years. It's truly remarkable to see such consistent success. It's safe to say that achieving a top 5 ranking in total offense for 12 out of 13 years under one coach is an unprecedented feat that is highly unlikely to be replicated in the future. In 1964, Landry revolutionized the league with his incredible innovative defense known as the flex defense. It was specifically designed to counter Vince Lombardi's formidable offenses of the mid-60s. However, during my recent research, I stumbled upon a mind-blowing record. From 1964 to 1979, the Dallas Cowboys consistently ranked in the top 10 on defense every single year. This is truly impressive. For an astonishing 16 consecutive seasons, Landry's defense was constantly elite. Take a moment to consider all the changes and advancements that happen in the league every year. It's a constant challenge for coordinators to adapt and stay up to date. However, Landry's defense consistently excelled, remaining at the pinnacle despite all the obstacles and developments during those years. This statistic is undeniably remarkable and probably will never be broken again.
6-7 pop, wing down and in. There won't be a soul in there.
Okay.
There are fans who still can remember when our Cowboys under Tom Landry was so dominant that they won an impressive 10 divisional playoff games from 1970 to 1982. That's 10 divisional games won in 13 seasons. To put this into perspective, the Patriots, who hold numerous postseason records, only managed to win a maximum of 8 divisional playoff games within a 13-year time frame. Dallas won 10 in 13 years. This clearly demonstrates the sheer dominance of the Cowboys during the 70s and the early 80s. 10 divisional titles in 13 years was truly amazing. But I'll go even further. Here's a fact that will leave you speechless, I promise. From 1966 to 1982, the Dallas Cowboys played in divisional games an astounding 16 times. Yes, that's right. 16 divisional games in 17 seasons. When I first came across this information, I couldn't believe my eyes. I had to double check the records to ensure their accuracy. Are you telling me for 17 whole years, Dallas only had one season in which they didn't compete for a divisional title? Yes, indeed. From 1966 to 1982, Dallas played in 94% of the divisional games that was played during those 17 years. And what's even more incredible is that they emerged victorious in 11 of those 16 divisional games. If you were lucky enough to witness the years between 1966 and 1982, every time you turned on your TV, you would see the Dallas Cowboys participating in every major game across 3 decades.
The Cowboys could not have become America's team without Landry's image.
They appear on television so often that their faces are as familiar to the public as presidents and movie stars.
3 different decades? Wow. If you take a moment to consider all of the remarkable records out there is one that truly stands out. This achievement of Landry's is so impressive that it will always place him in the greatest of all time conversations. Dallas had 20 consecutive winning seasons, starting from 1966 to 1985. This is an extraordinary accomplishment that is unlikely to ever be replicated. Just imagine playing in 16 divisional games and reaching 11 championships in 17 seasons is already awe-inspiring. But winning more games than you've lost in each season for 2 whole decades is simply unbelievable. This is what truly exemplifies Landry's greatness to me.
Well, the Cowboys need a miracle. Pearson makes the catch at the 5, touchdown!
While it is often mentioned that Landry struggled to adapt to changes later in his career, what often goes unnoticed is the rebuilding process he had to endure early on and throughout his career.
So what would be the question then you would ask Mr. Murkison, the owner?
I'd clean house, that's what I'd do.
To continuously have winning seasons for 20 seasons, despite consistently being at the bottom of the drafting process year after year, is without a doubt his most significant triumph. To put things into perspective, Landry's first winning season was in 1966, during a time when the world looked like this, and he continued this streak until 1985, when the world looked like that. It's absolutely mind-blowing and an achievement that will never be matched. Landry was, without a doubt, one of the greatest sports personalities in world history. His brilliance not only shone through in the way he coached the game, but also in how he managed to achieve sustained success for such an extended period. There will never be another coach quite like him. Until next time, make sure to like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.